So today we're going to talk about the employment aspect of qualifying for a home loan. So is your employment consistent and stable? If it is, then most likely you're a step closer to qualifying for a home loan. So there's two aspects to employment. There's a W-2 employee and there's self-employed. We're going to hit the W-2 employee here first. So with W-2s, we look for full-time income and we look for a 2-year history of employment, usually in the same line of business. Now, that's not the end-all be-all. There's other aspects that allow less than 2 years, and we would look at that on a case-by-case basis. So the basic documentation that you need to provide and have ready is 30 days of pay stubs, 2 years W-2s, and we're also most likely going to do an employment verification directly with your employer. All right. Salary employee versus hourly employee. If you're a salary employee, it's pretty easy. We use your base salary. We'll look at overtime, bonus, and commission, but that's something we're going to go over in a later video as well. Same with an hourly employee. We're going to look at your hours, your full-time hourly rate, and are you working the 40 hours a week or 80 hours every 2 weeks on a consistent basis? That's important because that will determine your full-time status. Some of the questions that were asked is, are we able to work 2 jobs and use the income? And the answer on that is yes. If you have a 2-year history of working 2 jobs, we can use both the income from both jobs. All right. So you have to have a 2-year history. You can't have just started one job like a few weeks ago, because then that's not consistent and stable of having the 2 employments. Is it okay to switch jobs over the last 2 years? So yes, you can switch jobs as a W-2 employee. Ideally, you're looking at a similar line of business that you move to. And then when you move on to your new job, again, we're going to look and make sure that new position of what you're working is consistent and stable. Now, if you have an employment gap, meaning you haven't worked in a while, we're going to want an explanation and show what you worked prior to and how you're working now. And again, make sure that the employment is consistent and stable. Now onto the self-employed side. So if you're self-employed, the standard we look at is a 2-year self-employment history. So you've got to be self-employed for 2 years for us to be able to utilize your income from that source. Documentation, we're going to look at 2 years of personal and business tax returns and K-1s. Now, if your business has been in existence for more than 5 years, and on certain cases, we will allow less than 2 years of personal business. Usually we can go with 1 year personal and business tax returns and review that. Now, from an income standpoint, the way we calculate the income on that is we're going to look at your average for 2 years. So we're taking your net income after you've written everything off on your self-employed taxes, and then we're going to use that average over 24 months. If we're using it over a year, then we're going to average it over a year. So, but that's what we look at. We look at the net income after write-off. So that's key. So that some cases disqualifies some buyers, and then we have to look at alternative loan programs, but that's the standards for self-employed. We're going to go over other income sources on some of our future videos, but for now, make sure to follow us on social media for helpful homebuyer tips and frequently asked questions. And we appreciate your time today, and we look forward to assisting you with the dream of homeownership. Have a great day.